There were a few obvious picks in the 2025 NFL draft. We knew Cam Ward was going to the Titans at number 1 overall. We knew Travis Hunter, if on the board, would be there for the Jacksonville Jaguars. They would take him as well. And Dalton, we knew that if Tyler Warren was on the board for the Indianapolis Colts, they were taking him. And I think it was the fastest selection I've ever seen in an NFL draft. Right when the Colts were on the clock, immediately Tyler Warren went to them. The pick was in for Tyler Warren. So why was Tyler Warren the coveted player for everyone in that Colts organization?
Look, he was the second tight end drafted, and maybe we didn't expect it, but he went to the absolute perfect landing spot when you talk about the Indianapolis Colts. And I think it's just his skill set, and as it differs from Colson Loveland's, it just fits in Shane Steichen's offense. We'll go over that part of it. But what is Tyler Warren's skill set? It's making things happen with the ball in his hands, right? You saw it all year carrying your Penn State Nittany Lions. He was the center of that offense at tight end, and just doing so many things with the ball in his hands. You look at just his ranks in college football last year among tight ends. Second in receiving grade behind Harold Fannin Jr. down there at Bowling Green. Third in yards per route run, you get the efficiency. Second in yards after catch, again behind Fannin. So you could argue Warren, the best tight end in the country with that. 19 missed tackles forced, also second. It's just doing those things with the ball in his hands. And I want to point out a 6.9 yard average depth of target. Not very high, nowhere near the top of the leaderboard. So he was getting the football close to the line of scrimmage and making things happen with it, right? We heard the quote about why he wears number 44 at the NFL Combine. His dad wanted him to run like John Riggins when he had the football. Well, imagine it. Imagine a big power back like John Riggins playing tight end, and that's exactly what Shane Steichen is looking for from his tight ends. Now, we'll just go in general on the Colts tight ends here for a second, because aside from, okay, they could have been happy with Warren or Loveland, well, they just needed a tight end, no question about it. 4th worst receiving grade from their tight ends last year, 5th worst yards per route run, dead last in yards after catch in the regular season. So you get the contrast of what they have had and then what you will be getting with Tyler Warren. And my favorite number out of all these that I didn't know before putting this presentation together was Colts tight ends forced 1 missed tackle the entire season last year.
In a 17-game season, Tyler Warren had, 19 in, 16 games?
Yeah.
So by himself, he had 18 more than all the Colts tight ends combined.
1 missed tackle amazes me in 17 games from their tight ends. I forget which game it was. I think Will Mallory wins the Gold Star for getting the 1. And then I want to point out this last one, too, because you're talking about a 10.6-yard average depth of target. Obviously, that comes with having Anthony Richardson as your primary quarterback. He likes to chuck the ball deep. But compare that to what I just said with Warren. And this is not where Shane Steichen is comfortable throwing to his tight ends. And a lot of his offense, that's a lot of RPOs and short passes and yards after catch. They've gotten away from the foundation of his offense. I'll get into that in a minute, but I think the entire point we're talking about here is not just the surface level production, which we know, okay, Tyler Warren's the best tight end on their roster, but he's also the right type of tight end to make these things happen.
Absolutely. All right, Dalton. So we know Shane Steichen. Right now, obviously, the Colts tight ends very much struggled. But Shane Steichen in Philadelphia was the offensive coordinator, had a very good tight end, though, in Dallas Goedert. So there's some similarities, I think, between Tyler Warren and Dallas Goedert you think could be really good at this Colts offense.
That's what we're going to look at. We're going to look at Warren first here and now. So this is basic football. And the one thing I want to stress as well with Tyler Warren, we saw so many complex schemes and fancy stuff, and he's wildcat quarterback and motioning all over the place and catching touchdowns when he lined up at center. That's actually not what we're going to talk about. We're going to talk about what just the foundation of these offenses and how they want to start drives, how they want to play on first down, and the RPO game is going to be a big thing. Shane Steichen's offenses, whether it be with Philadelphia or Indianapolis, have been in the top 2 of RPO rate in each of the last 3 seasons. It is a foundational part of his offense. This past year, almost 21% of his plays were an RPO. So here's what I'm getting at. Run-pass option, all right? Very, very simple. Inside, we're just going to have a basic run look, just basic inside zone look here. Just, okay, we're not going to get deep into the blocking schemes because that's not what we're getting at. Now we're talking about, here's Tyler Warren in line at tight end. Most basic thing you can be as a tight end is right in there as that extra on the line of scrimmage, all right? So what's going to happen is on the outside now is where I want you to look. We're going to get your guy Liam Clifford in here, down on a linebacker. We're going to get the stalk from the top at the corner, right up here with the wide receiver. And Warren's just going to sneak out into the flat. Now, whether Drew Aller is handing this ball off or not, Warren's going to go out there. And all we're going to do, this is option football. Option football's been around for 90 to 100 years, right? The phrase used by coaches so often is putting somebody in conflict. There's going to be a player in conflict. And when you talk about the option, yes, the quarterback has to make the option, but you're actually just reading the option that the defender takes. So what we're talking about is this linebacker, okay? If he goes out to Warren, if he's in man-to-man or something like that, we're going to hand it off. And we're going to have a linebacker out of the picture that we don't even have to block, right? If he wants to stay in and he freezes or something like that, or he dives down into his gap, we're just going to pitch it out to Tyler Warren. And you know what we have? We have numbers. We're going to have a blocker on here. We're going to have a blocker here who already has the leverage, and you've got the sideline to work with. This is 1st and 10, right? And all we're trying to do is maybe pick up easy yardage one way or the other. That's why we have the option. So what you have, we've actually got the pass first here. This linebacker, talking about him again. He's sitting, right? Got the leverage, got the stalk, got the space. Just going to pitch it out to Tyler Warren. Nice and easy, right? And we talk all the time about, okay, running backs getting that free shot at a free safety, right? Here we go. We got everybody blocked. It's the same idea. With a guy with Tyler Warren and the ball in his hands, and he's, 250, 260 pounds, get him up there one-on-one at a free safety. I feel good about that. You know, we end up out here, first down. Easy first down, easy drive starter, because especially this is one thing I noticed about these types of plays is they're used on first down. They're used as the first play of the drive. Penn State is, and not to remind you, but Penn State is down to Bowling Green in the second half at this point. They need a spark. Who do they go to? Play number 1, Tyler Warren. All right, let's go to another one. Now, we're actually going to go back here because this was the look that I wanted before. Same look, okay? Same exact thing. We're just going to go right back to it because it's the same formation. Now, this time, we'll just show the end zone shot. So that same linebacker that we had on the option, it's a different play. I think my clips got a little mixed up here. But number 3, the linebacker. I wanted the end zone shot here to show this. This time, Warren was in formation. He went out, and he ran with him. And look at the big gaping hole that we have here in the middle. Regardless of all the blocking, we took a blocker out. We've got the linebacker occupied. We've got D linemen who are too slow to tackle. Your guy, Nick Singleton. And the umpire is the only guy left to defend him. So here, Warren went out. We've got Singleton in 14 yards before he's even touched. 17-yard explosive run. We're off and running with this RPO game. So when you talk about what Penn State did with Warren, it's not just Tyler Warren, okay, the guy with the ball in his hands getting all the yards after the catch, but it's also the Tyler Warren effect, dragging linebackers outside, dragging safeties. The extra attention that's put on him makes guys hesitate in run defense because then they're caught up. They don't know which way to go with this option game.
So, listen, Jonathan Taylor's going to love Tyler Warren because, like I mentioned before, he drags linebackers away. He's also a great blocker as well. Let's show some clips now of Dallas Goedert, though, and why the comparison between him and Tyler Warren makes so much sense and why Shane Steichen worked with Dallas Goedert now knows what to do with a tight end like Tyler Warren.
So, yeah, I needed to go back a couple of years because as we showed in the previous graphic, the Colts didn't have any tight ends to do this with. They were running a lot of their RPOs with Josh Downs, with Michael Pittman, with the wide receivers, which is great. There's a time and a place for those, but you know Shane Steichen wants an inline tight end he can do this with. So here's the same idea. NFC Championship game, 2022 NFC Championship game against the 49ers. Same look. All we're going to do, simple. Inside zone, wrapping here, get the blocking going. Maybe we get Kelsey up on the second level. They do some different things with that. Cool. Okay, we got the run schemes. Here's how simple this gets. We're going to get the bubble this time from the inside from Goedert. Same idea, just some sort of screen that gets us out with a threat on the perimeter. Brown's going to get out here and block somebody. We're going to get somebody on the second level. Something's going to happen with these two receivers. They're going to block on the second level, but either way, it's the same option. Now, the funny part of this is we're going to get, this is Talanoa Hufanga. He decides he's going to blitz. So the read for Jalen Hurts is right here. There's Fred Warner, best linebacker in football, right? Shouldn't have any issue with this. He's Fred Warner, right? Never has any issue with anything. Now, here's the mesh point. Here's what I want you to see. Again, we've got numbers. Brown's getting out. I think that's Devontae getting out. And we're left here with Fred Warner, right? Square one-on-one. Hufanga's gone. One-on-one over Dallas Goedert. What is he going to do? Is he going to sit? Or is he going to go help the run? And Hurts, and you can see, look at Jalen Hurts' eyes looking right at him. That's who he's looking at while we're at this mesh point, okay? Now, what he's going to do, because Warner's sitting here for so long, he hasn't moved. You notice that? Everyone else has moved. Fred Warner, the backside linebacker, has not moved. Hurts is going to see that. He's going to hand the football off. Now, what I want you to see, we remember before, let's go back right here. Fred Warner's right on the inside of the hash right here, right? I'm going to go to the end zone shot just to show this. My back is almost in the hole. Look how much has happened up front. He's almost in the hole. And Fred Warner, because Dallas Goedert is on the backside of this run, he's still barely moved. He's taken one step. He's not even in the play at this point. Kelsey gets up on Greenlaw. We're flying through here. Same thing as before. 14 yards we got untouched before the back was even touched. Explosive run. Shane Steichen, RPO, same thing. Now, let's go to the other side of this. We got the run part of the run-pass option. Let's go to the passing part. What you're going to get. And this is funny because Warner's sitting. That was the NFC title game all the way at the end of the year. This is week 1 against the Lions. When I talk about Tyler Warren's going to bring back the foundational part of Shane Steichen's offense, this is what I mean. This is week 1. This is week 1 for the Eagles in this season. This is week 1 with A.J. Brown, even on the team. They just traded for him, right? The big trade that gave up a first-round pick, well worth it. Brown's going to go in motion. We're going to get a tell on the coverage. I'll explain that in a second. Here's Dallas Goedert again right here. Just going to sneak out here this time, just like Tyler Warren was doing for Penn State, right? And you're going to get a little, in here, crack in here with this receiver. We're just going to see if this space clears out, right? But you have all these threats and motion, and the same thing to run. It's simple. Just inside zone, like Shane Steichen likes, and we're just going to threaten it right in here. That's not even Saquon Barkley yet. That's back in the Miles Sanders days, right? We're not even talking about Saquon Barkley. Now in the Colts, you're talking about Jonathan Taylor. He's pretty darn good too, right? Now, here's the Brown motion. This is right as we're snapping the football. There were 2 safeties high in the previous clip. The safety moved down. This free safety singled up. And what we're seeing is man-to-man coverage this time. The last time we got a zone look, this time we're getting man. He's picking up A.J. Brown back here, okay? Same thing's going to happen. So now we're in man-to-man coverage. All you're going to get, this receiver, just run a slant in here, just get him in here. Find any way you can to free this up, okay? Now I'm looking here at Goddard's defender, his man in coverage. Next slide. Here's what Jalen Hurts sees. I want you to look at his eyes again, all right? We're blocked up pretty good because, well, the Eagles' offensive line is pretty good. Sneak out here, start getting it in here, and Jalen Hurts, look at his eyes. Look at his eyes. Who's in conflict here? When we talk about option football, again, in conflict. You, my friend. You either got to stay with Goddard and let the run happen, or you're going to help out on the backside, and we're going to have a serious problem. Hurts is reading him. Man-to-man out here, don't matter much out here. Ooh, and we have a problem. Because that guy in conflict right here, he decided to step in and look at all the space that Dallas Goedert has to work with because Jalen Hurts, all he had to do was flip it out here 2 yards to the flat. And that's what we have. Dallas Goedert, his last year was Shane Steichen as his offensive coordinator. In the regular season, was 3rd among tight ends in yards after catch. You can see why. The craziest part about that is he's third among tight end in yards after catch that year in the regular season. He missed 5 games. He very well could have led the league in yards after catch had he been healthy for all 17 games. This is all they're looking for from Tyler Warren is the basics, the step 1 of Shane Steichen's offense that's been missing without the elite tight end. And I would say he's even more well-equipped to do this than Goddard was. He's even better after the catch than Dallas Goedert was. If you're opening up that type of space for a player like Tyler Warren and all the other threats the Colts have in their offense, you're talking about a dangerous, dangerous package of plays now, and we haven't even gotten into the trick plays and the fancy stuff.
You just pointed out, too, the Colts had the worst tight ends in the NFL after the catch last year. Now you add arguably the best tight end in the NFL draft in Tyler Warren after the catch. So now you give Anthony Richardson basically 0 excuses next year. You have an excellent receiving core with Josh Downs there, Michael Pittman Jr. there, Alec Pierce there, A.D. Mitchell there, now Tyler Warren. You have Jonathan Taylor there as well. Pretty good offensive line. 0 excuses for Anthony Richardson now. So yes, maybe the least surprising pick in the 2025 NFL draft, but it was the right one for the Indianapolis Colts.